Doubles and coffee. When apparent bias becomes actual bias based on evidence, you have it now. Kamala Prasad Bisesa was correct. It's correct. The principle is correct. The principle of apparent bias states that once a human being is selected from a poison tree, that the fruit of the poison tree will be poisoned, and that any reasonable person would believe that fruit from a poison tree would be just that, poison. When 9 can thwart the will and the mandate of 358,000, that's a problem. To Michaela Pandey, Shalini, you see, Shalini, when you get involved with dogs with fleas and the fleas jump off on you, you see what you did on April 28th? You see sticking it out in an election knowing full well that the few young people that you would fool to vote for you because your name is Pandey Shalini, that causes the people to die. That causes bloodshed. The Zoso bill was not about anything other than saving lives. Trinidad and Tobago has been awash with blood. You all out there have got desensitized. We see videos now of bullet-riddled bodies slumped over in cars, lying down in front of school, little children walking over dead, bleeding bodies, brains splatter on the pavement. And we watch that and say, well, I normal thing, Trinidad and Tobago. Under the PNM, for the last 9.5 years, the murder rate skyrocketed. The brazenness of the killings, the bullets, the guns, the ammunition, the open borders, the porous borders, the lack of safety. Young black boys killing out themselves, and if they reach 21, they reach grandpa age. And last night, 9 thwarted the will of 358,000. But don't get tired. The lady who controlled the 358,000, she brighter than all of them 9. And time longer than Twine. So don't think the lady who fought through and beat Bastille Pandey, right, Shalini, you can't beat nobody. You just like West Indies cricket. You can't beat nobody. That lady who beat Bastille Pandey, who beat Patrick Manning, who beat Keith Christopher Rowley into quitting, who beat Small Pen Young, which was not so hard to do, and who will blow away Penny. Do you think that lady reached where she reached by mistake? Do you think she only have a plan A? Do you think I ever believed anything other than 9 would thwart the will of 358,000? Never, because I understand the politics. And once you have a PNM appointing people, the people will be PNM. So you have a lot of bourgeois. Out of the 9 who vote, 8 of them living in houses that cost more than $3 million. They're living in areas that have security, that have private security, local security, police patrol, gate, security station, patrols of security. They live in gated, beautiful, pristine communities where they only complain on the group chat is, oh God, somebody passed and like they thief my hose. I forget my hose in the ground, somebody got on my hose. Because they have pure safety. And in those neighborhoods, 40% of the households have firearms because they have FULs, because the society, the elites get and the others get not, because that is the policy of the PNM. The rich get richer, the rich feel safer, the rich have more opportunity, the rich children get better schools, get in on the 20%, they get to go to better sporting activities, they stick together, they go to their safe parties, and they live in a different life other than the whole country. When the former Miss Trinidad and Tobago said, when she cared about children, that we in Trinidad and Tobago have children sleeping on plyboard floor and so on. A lot of y'all who don't live in Trinidad and Tobago, you only live in your little niche. You stay in your gated community, you go to your club, you go to your gym with your nice tights to take a little video of you doing bench press and squats. You share that and you go to an all-inclusive, you go to an all-white party, you do this and you play band, you play, that's good for you. You live in that Trinidad and Tobago. Somebody like me, the Douglas, who in politics, who walk every nook and cranny of this country, I knew that that Miss Trinidad and Tobago was talking the truth. I have seen people living in pure plyboard, 3 wood steps going up the plyboard, latrine outside, 6 people in one shack. That's normal. And communities like that, 100 of those shacks joined together making communities. I've seen it all across Trinidad and Tobago, whether up in Valencia, down in Labre, down Point 14, across in Barrackpore, Pinal, Princestown. Don't get tired. But you all live in your little elite place. So some of those 9 last night might be smiling and thinking, oh, we thwarted Kamala, we are powerful. Time longer than Twine. And nobody cares about y'all. The bill was not to protect those who are already protected. The bill was not to protect or make the rich get richer. The bill was to protect human beings who are living under siege in communities where their children cannot come out to go and play. Where if they go and make a mistake to play basketball on the court, bullet riddle them in the hip and they die, like what happened in Mova. The bill was made to protect all those good citizens who are trying to bring up their children to move forward in life. But at this time, they could only live in a community that is riddled with crime, corruption, and gangs. That's what that bill was for. Was it a perfect bill? Of course not. Was it the be-all and end-all? Of course not. Is there a plan B? Of course there is. But it just showed that Kamala Persad-Bissess is right. If you have a president who preaches the gospel of the PNM and appointed and voted in an electoral college by only PNM, and she select people to represent her as president senators, well, finish the statement. Finish. What will they be? What will a reasonable person say? That they are the most independent human beings in Trinidad and Tobago? On top of that, out of the 9, 3 of them look like Imbot. And one who look like me, live like Imbot. If you all know, you know what I'm talking about. How does that represent Trinidad and Tobago? That might represent a different class of Trinidad and Tobago. An elite class, a small class. But how is that representative? You all ever thought about that? And they think putting one lady who's differently able makes it, oh my goodness, wow, excellent, fantastic. So 9 thwarted the belief, the policy, the desire of 358,000. But let me tell you something. The 358,000 is very powerful. The leader who got those 358,000 is not only powerful, she's brilliant. And she's full of resolve. And she don't cry. She don't back. She take on the best of the best. She's been through it all. She's been attacked. She's been vilified. And she stand tall. So don't get tired. So what, the 9 or the gallery, and even the one good brother who still didn't have the testicular fortitude to still vote, because he bridging them went one way, so he abstained. All right. You feel you're shocking me? But I know what you're doing. And I don't care. Because to tell you the truth, people like you all, I would be ashamed of. I tell my children, don't be so spineless. Don't be used. And don't pretend. And some of you all have SC behind your name, but don't know the principle of apparent bias or conflict of interest. Can make a claim in a debate that you represented one side right up to the Privy Council. You made arguments to the board of the Privy Council on the PNM side. And then you come in a debate, say that, hey, I represented the PNM up to the Privy Council. And the next words out of your mouth wasn't, well, I recuse myself from this debate. You continue to debate and then vote against the bill, vote with the PNM, and then you want to believe that you are independent. You all are president senators. The president is a PNM. The president preaches the gospel of the PNM, and you all are PNM. So what? But Kamala say that, and we know that. I see Philip Alexander like he's shocked. He doesn't believe He just believes something that PNM is not a blight and PNM is not a poison and PNM does not get into the soul and the hearts and the minds of people. The PNM is a cult. Dr. Williams was brilliant. He turned people into cult followers. He didn't support black people. Imagine them PNM trying to argue that they supporting black people and that the UNC is coming against black man and black people. There was a black revolt, black power movement against the PNM because black people were being oppressed by the PNM. PNM oppressed the pan man. PNM constituencies are the worst in job creation, highest crime rate, highest unemployment, worst education levels. Them let's vote PNM. PNM like it so. PNM like the borders open. And those who vote PNM like the country in a mess. It like it to be a lawless dump, but not Kamala. She go fix it. And if all your 9 people, they go beat she. Good luck to you. I hope you have better luck than Basjo Pandey. I hope you have better luck than Patrick Manning. I hope you have better luck in beating Kamala than Keith Christopher Rowley and Smallpin. Good luck to you all. I hope you all celebrate that you've just tried to make Trinidad and Tobago unsafe. Not for you. Y'all will go cocktail party and knock glass with security outside. With man with big AR-15 and thing to protect y'all. With gated community security in a booth. That's where all they were lying. But to the rest of the citizens who have been left a little more unsafe after the vote last night, have no fear. Kamala here. If there are other things coming, she will keep you safe because she said she will. And she's a woman of her word. To the PNM president, senators, bless, have a good morning. Yeah? Some of the worst debaters I've ever heard. Woman telling me what I hear and what I ain't hear. Them trying to pretend it's not PNM. But voting without care. Voting without understanding. A man say he talked to his friends in the Oval and he get them opinion. So he come to represent the country. Really? Brilliant. Kamala Persad-Bissessar has the mandate of the people. Politicians like myself meet people, talk to people, consult with people. The people want safety. The people want security. The people want to live and be happy. The people want equity. They want fairness. They don't want one man getting 500 million in contract. Imagine that man had the audacity to get up and debate and say people attacking him and frivolous things. And he was Minister of Youth and he gave opportunity to the youth. You know what he said? He made available a loan of 20,000. He and his family companies get $500 million, but he said he's a good minister because he gave a loan for people to make business of $20,000. That is the PNM. That's why they've been rejected 2813. Should have been 3110. But for Shalini Pandey, right? So Shalini Pandey, your father wanted constitutional reform and you took away 3 seats from your father's party that he created. Sleep well, Shalini. And to the president, PNM, gospel of the PNM. Apparent bias has now become actual bias. Bless.